What is going on, everyone, and welcome to episode 9 in the Blabbermouth Sister-in-Law series, the penultimate episode in this saga. In the last episode, we saw that the trial of Blabbermouth and Entitled Cousin had finally begun, and that is ongoing. And today, we're jumping even further ahead. We're now into March of 2023, and as you can tell by the title and thumbnail of this one, it's just ridiculous. The story somehow gets even crazier. Not too much about Blabbermouth herself and the Entitled Cousin in this episode, but don't worry, Coddle Mum more than makes up for it. In case you might have missed any previous episodes, the link to the playlist, which has all of them in it, is down below in the description and in the pinned comment. Click through that if you've missed one. And also, very importantly, you have to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already and turn notifications on. Episode 10 will be published on Tuesday, right? Tuesday, the 15th of July. You don't want to miss it. I'm not sure exactly what time it's going to come out, I'm going to be completely honest, but you'll know if you have notifications on. So if you want to see the culmination of this story, get them on. As for today's episode, I've got a few more posts for you. Let's get into them. How Coddle Mum got hit in the face. Dear Reddit family and friends, the trial is still ongoing, so I can't share anything new on that front, but I do have an update on Coddle Mum. Just to refresh, Coddle Mum is the Entitled Cousin's entitled mother, the one who agreed with him that I should have just done what he told me to do, like some sort of obedient puppet. You might remember the time she came to our door while we weren't home and threatened to file fake charges and CPS reports. Well, she actually did it. She filed the fake CPS charges. For anyone who doesn't know, our country's version of CPS has been involved with us already, not in a negative way, but to help and support our children after the attempted abduction. As part of their standard procedures, they assessed us and officially established that we're fit parents. They also work alongside our family physician to provide ongoing support. So, when Coddle Mum threatened to call them with fake charges, we sent a copy of the doorbell footage to CPS. They then later called to let us know that they've received anonymous reports about child abuse and abandonment. Luckily, we already had an appointment scheduled, so they came over and reviewed everything. We understand they have to take every single report seriously, even if they suspect it's fake. Nothing came of it. We were told everything was in order and that the anonymous person was now on file in case further false reports were made. At that point, we didn't have concrete proof of who it was, until Coddle Mum made it very clear. She showed up at our door again, this time in full screaming fit mode, demanding to know why our children were still with us when she had reported us. She actually said it out loud, ranted about how we were supposed to learn our lesson and all that nonsense. Unfortunately for her, our cameras were running. So guess who now has a fresh no contact order and a lawsuit for defamation and filing false claims? Well, give yourself a cookie if you guessed Coddle Mum. Even I got that one. And when did she get the letter? Right in the middle of lunch with her husband, Steve. Well, Steve finally snapped. He told her he'd had enough of her behaviour and filed for divorce. They've got a prenup, so Coddle Mum will receive a pre-agreed amount of money. She's not going to be penniless. She's plenty of savings and a solid retirement fund. She'll be able to afford a decent-sized apartment and still live comfortably. As for their house, she refuses to be bought out and won't buy him out either, so it's being put on the market. For now, they're both still living there but in separate bedrooms. And just when you think Coddle Mum couldn't be more Coddle Mum, from what I've heard, she thought she could move in with one of her daughters instead of buying her own place. That plan was shut down immediately. Her daughters made it clear they had no intention of letting her live with them or anywhere near their families. Coddle Mum apparently made a few nasty comments about her daughters and their children, not exactly the way to win people over. Entitled Cousin was, and still is, the apple of her eye. When her youngest daughter asked if Coddle Mum was even planning to contribute to bills, she responded that she wouldn't, that it was her daughter's duty to help her out after all she'd done for them. Right. So, now Coddle Mum has a son in prison with no job and no home, a husband who wants nothing to do with her, daughters who are sick of her toxic nonsense, a lawsuit, and a no contact order. Nice work, Coddle Mum. The upside? She's got her hands full with her own mess now, And she's finally leaving us alone. Well, just 6 days after this post, we actually got this, an update on the whole situation. Updates: how Coddle Mum got hit in the face. Begging Wonder Woman for help. I had to share this one with you. Okay, so quick little recap. Coddle Mum is now going through a divorce after she got served. Steve, her soon-to-be ex-husband, warned her multiple times that he was at his limit. If there was one more legal letter, that would push him to file for divorce. And when that letter arrived, he meant it and he filed. Her daughters had already made it crystal clear as well. Under no circumstances would they take her in after she and Steve sold the house. She's not broke. She's got a decent amount of money in her accounts and a solid retirement fund. But they all refused point blank to let her mooch off them after the horrendous things that she said over the years. Apparently though, Coddle Mum has zero intention of living on her own or spending her own money like an adult. Instead, she somehow managed to get in contact with none other than her former daughter-in-law, Wonder Woman. Yep, entitled cousin's ex-wife. Now, Wonder Woman still has her old number active for one reason only: Steve. It's how they coordinate visits so he can see his grandchildren. She's got a new number, a new home, and a fresh start, but the old number stays in service purely as a decoy. The idea is that if Coddle Mum thinks she still has access to Wonder Woman, she won't start digging for real contact info. So, Coddle Mum calls the number. Wonder Woman answers, thinking it's Steve. Nope, it's Coddle Mum. And without even a hello or how are you, she launches right into her usual entitled spiel. She immediately explains her situation in that demanding, dismissive way we've all come to expect from her. Now, here's the best part. Wonder Woman and I were together that day. We'd planned a proper girls' day, a bit of well-earned rest, some laughs, good food, so I got to hear this play out in real time. Before Coddle Mum could even get to the part where she was about to ask, or rather tell, Wonder Woman that she needed a place to live, Wonder Woman just shut it down. She said, "Just stop right there. I know that you're going through a divorce. I know the house is being sold. I know you need a place to live. I'm not going to allow you to live with me. Not even if heck freezes over will I let you live with me. Ever. Lose my number. Goodbye." Click. Coddle Mum didn't dare call her again. Didn't even try. We spent the rest of the day absolutely basking in the glow of Wonder Woman's perfect, ice-cold takedown. No yelling, no arguing, just cold, calm, righteous boundaries. I love the balls of this woman. And there we go. Just when you're thinking, oh, Blabbermouth and Entitled Cousin have taken a bit of a back seat, Coddle Mum comes out of nowhere and just says, you know what guys, leave it to me. I will continue the ridiculous entitlement on this side of the family. I mean, yeah, I completely agree with you. I massively respect Wonder Woman. I have from the beginning, to be fair, especially given what she did in terms of actually then finally filing for divorce and breaking up with her partner who was in prison. Yeah, probably a good thing to do, but I know it took a while, but it was hard. Also pretty ridiculous that not only now has Entitled Cousin been broken up with by their partner, Coddle Mum, the Entitled Cousin's mum, has now also been broken up with by their partner. It's like these guys are they're just ridiculous. But yeah, good to see karma in full force, and once again, I rate Wonder Woman very highly. Alright, now moving on to our next post, leaving Coddle Mum for a little bit. This was posted in September of 2023, so about a 6-month jump from the last post. Blabbermouth's youngest wants his college fund, tries different tactics. Okay, we are so back. How Coddle Mum got hit in the face. Dear Reddit family, I hope this finds you all in good health. Rest assured, this one is about Blabbermouth's youngest once again. Now, I've reread some of my earlier posts and realised I accidentally gave him 2 nicknames, entitled Apple Kid and SOB, son of Blabbermouth. To keep things simple, I'll stick with SOB from now on. No. I'm going to have to overrule that. I'm going to call him Apple. I just prefer it. For those following along, you'll know Apple, almost 19 now, lost access to his college fund from me and my husband after doing something stupid. His parents weren't thrilled about it either, especially since court costs have drained most of their savings. So now, surprise, surprise, he needs to get a job to fund his own education. For some reason, he didn't have one before. I'm guessing Blabbermouth paid for everything up until now, so the concept of working is new to him. He has, however, started a job, but he's not happy with the status quo. What follows are his attempts, plural, to get money from us. Spoiler, they didn't go well. Attempt 1. He rang our doorbell and gave us the whole "I can't afford college" speech. He claimed his parents didn't have enough money and that he didn't have a job. I told him bluntly, get a job. He admitted his parents could pay most of the tuition for this year, but not for books or the years ahead. I said, well, that's good, at least this year is covered. Cue the whining. I reminded him that he screwed up, was warned, and that working would be good for him in many ways. He left fuming. Attempt 2. He started sending us texts, emails, and even handwritten letters listing all the reasons he deserves the money, set fake deadlines, and threatened us if we didn't hand over his funds. We ignored all of it, but saved every single piece of communication. Attempt 3. He sent us what looked like a letter from a law firm demanding we release the college funds or face legal action. It was hilariously unprofessional and clearly fake. So, at that point, I called in my lawyer and we scheduled a video call with my brother-in-law, his lawyer, and Apple. We calmly laid everything out. What Apple was doing could legally be considered blackmail, and impersonating a law firm, they're both very serious offences. My lawyer didn't hold back either. Apple was squirming in his chair. Then I took my turn. I clarified exactly how our college funding worked, something Apple was already told at 15 and reminded many times over. We never gave money directly. We paid institutions or vendors after verifying everything. I even bought receipts and copies of past transactions to show how it was all done. Not a cent ever landed in their personal bank accounts. Apple looked genuinely surprised. I asked him why he was so desperate to get the money directly. He dodged, mumbled, and tried to spin it. I cut in and said what we were all thinking. He wanted the money for other things, not school. His face turned bright red. Then came the tantrum. He ranted and raved, claimed his father should work harder if he couldn't pay, said he didn't want a job and that he just wanted to take it easy during college and have fun on our dime. Now, say what you want about my brother-in-law, but one thing I'll give him credit for is that he doesn't tolerate entitled nonsense from his kids. He's strict when it counts. His 4 other children are great, decent, hardworking young adults. So when Apple tried to pitch this nonsense about dad working extra hours so he could slack off, my brother-in-law snapped. He didn't raise his voice, but he shut that down immediately. He told Apple he'd deal with it and left the call. Since then, absolute silence. Apple's siblings told us their dad found him a job with a friend of his and added that if he screws this up, he can pay for college on his own, fair and square. It's been peaceful since. Let's hope it stays that way. Now, maybe you guys thought that we were done with the Coddle Mum stories, but no, don't worry. That was just a little bit of reprieve. We're going to be back right away. A couple of months later, we got this. Coddle Mum has burned every bridge. I mean, at this point, I'm trying to work out who I think the actual most entitled person is in this entire story, and it's very close. I mean, Apple. I don't want to work. Why can't my dad just work harder so I can have fun? Give me your money and let me go and enjoy college. I'm not going to study. I just want to party. Or Coddle Mum. Oh, let's just see what happens next. I mean, that's not even talking about Blabbermouth or the entitled cousin or anyone else. Or even Love Tap Uncle going that far back. Okay, here we go. I didn't know I would update with news on Coddle Mum, but I have news. Steve and his daughters keep me as updated as they can in case Coddle Mum decides that I'm being moved upward on her priority list. The house has been sold and the divorce has been finalised. Since they'd renovated the house not long ago, people were very interested and a buyer was found pretty quickly. Coddle Mum and Steve are now officially no longer tied to one another. She walked away with a nice sum and had until the 15th of June to get her things out of the house and find herself a new place to live. Steve had been looking for an apartment since the start of the divorce proceedings and found one. It's quite close to his daughters and their families. He moved as soon as he could. On to Coddle Mum. I don't have everything clear as my inside informants are not close to her anymore, so some details about what happened might be vague because of this. Coddle Mum agreed on the sale as she got a very nice sum of money. She also seemed to realise that if she did anything now, she would get herself in deep trouble. Yet, this wouldn't be Coddle Mum, the Empress of Entitlement, if something weren't to happen. She had a whopping 5 weeks left at that point to find alternative housing. The buyers even offered extra money if they could move quickly. She and Steve gladly accepted. Her friends came with suggestions, offered her their homes, and one even managed to find a good apartment for her. She even went to look at it, but rejected the offer. I've seen the pictures as her daughters texted them to me. The price was affordable, good neighbourhood, nice neighbours as far as they could tell, no minor problems to the apartment itself. It even had the possibility for in-home care. Seems like a dream to me, but Coddle Mum said no. Why reject such a good offer? Because she was still hell-bent on living with one of her daughters. For free, of course. We know this because her tactic was to wait till the last moment to spring this onto her daughters. Coddle Mum went to daughter one's house and told her the first week of June would be perfect for her to move in. Daughter one asked if she'd lost her mind as she wasn't moving in with them. Coddle Mum again spouted some things about taking care of your elderly mother is your duty. You owe me this. I paid for your upbringing. You should pay me back. Daughter one told me she used some not so nice words to make her position very clear and slammed the door before Coddle Mum could say anything else. To make sure Coddle Mum got the message, she sent a text, an email, and even a priority letter, which requires a signature for proof of delivery, telling Coddle Mum that she is not welcome to live there and will be trespassed if she shows up again. She even changed the locks for good measure. So, Coddle Mum then went to her other daughter. She called daughter 2 and told her, yes, told, not asked, that she'd be moving in the first week of June. Daughter 2 told her, heck no, that's not happening, and did the same thing as her elder sister. But this is Coddle Mum we're talking about. She didn't take no for an answer and showed up anyway. First at daughter one's house, where she was met with a locked door and daughter one and her husband shouting down from the window that she should leave or the police would be called. She left. Daughter 2 was then warned by her sister and locked her house down too. As soon as her mum showed up, daughter 2 called the police. Coddle Mum noticed and left quickly. Time was running out for her. Can you imagine? Your 2 daughters calling the police on you, by the way. Like, that is... I don't know if it's heartbreaking, like just really sad and tragic. Just cringe. I don't know. Anyway, that is what happens when you wait till the last minute to find new living arrangements and try to mooch off your own children. Coddle Mum tried her friends. One apparently obliged, with conditions. This friend was in the process of moving and would only have the house for another 2 to 3 months. She offered to host her for 2 months tops while she found another place, but Coddle Mum would need to sign a form confirming she'd be out by then. She didn't like that at all. Still, she showed up with some of her belongings ready to move in. The friend, having heard about her nonsense, refused to let her in unless she signed the form. Coddle Mum refused, so she didn't get to stay. She didn't leave quietly either. She was heard ranting, "I thought I would get to live here. I didn't think you wouldn't let me stay. I thought we were friends." Then she tried her daughters again, with no luck and a visit from some very stern police officers. Then she called Steve. Steve told her bluntly that this was a problem of her own making. He offered no help, told her she was no longer his responsibility and shut it down. She even tried his relatives, but they refused her too. Now, the house is gone. The transfer has been completed. She has no home anymore. I know she managed to find an Airbnb, but she still hasn't secured a real apartment yet. So, that, dear Redditors, is the story of how Coddle Mum burned every bridge she had in life and now stands on her own. Well, there you go. A generational story of karma. And it's what you want to see. I don't like when people get away with just being horrible to their family especially. Then when they need something, go back into their lives and actually get what they wanted despite the fact that they were so terrible. in the past. So it's good to see stuff like this, and I for one want to see more of it. As I said while reading that, like, how sad is that to rock up to your daughter's places saying, I'm living with you, you owe me this, and them just being like, no, you're not, and if you don't leave, I'm calling the police. Like, what a sad sight. I just have an image of like Coddle mum outside her daughter's house, daughter upstairs with her husband looking out the window just like, what are you doing? And her just with a little box being like, please let me move in for free. I don't want to spend any of the money that I definitely do have to pay for quite a nice place on my own. I still don't really understand why. Just very odd. But anyway, guys, that is going to do it for the penultimate episode in this series. As I said, subscribe to the channel. I'm telling you, do it right now and turn notifications on, and you will see when episode 10 comes out. I will see you there. I'm excited for it. Next Tuesday the 15th. Be there.